All right, so here we are. We are back here for episode 1. These guys are here. They interview teachers each week. They think about the school and what it means to be a teacher, a student, and so much more. And I hear they have a special guest for this episode. I'm going to let them take it away.
Welcome to Behind the Blue, where we talk about our past experiences in school. We are
Danny,
Jawwad,
Vincent. So let's get this started. So our guest today is Mr. Heit, our content creation teacher.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Mr. Heit.
Hello, and how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm very excited to be on the maiden voyage of your podcast. This is very exciting.
Do you have any plans this break?
I spend time with my family. We might take a day trip here somewhere or there, but we do Passover. So we're going to do the Seder tonight, do it again tomorrow, and then, see where the week takes us.
So anyways, were you always born around here, or were you born in a different state, or where are you really from?
Yeah, so I'm from New York. I'm from Long Island. And then after high school, I went to Clemson University in South Carolina, and I was there, undergrad for 4 years. And then I lived in Atlanta, Georgia. And then I moved to Cleveland, Ohio, in the middle of February, because that's a very smart thing to do, to move to Cleveland in the middle of a blizzard. And then I moved to Tennessee. I lived in Memphis for about a year. And then I decided that I wanted to go into teaching, and I moved back to New York.
Wow, that's a lot of places that
Yes.
you've moved. So what were your hobbies growing up? Did you like sports or?
Man, as you know, I joke about that with you guys. Like I say, go sports. I'm not a big sporty guy. I swam in high school. I swam when I was younger. And then I actually had an injury. I had a rotator cuff injury in high school. I couldn't swim anymore. I tried to, I wasn't as fast as I was. And I started playing guitar, and then that kind of became a big hobby for me. But when I was younger, I was always into like making stuff up, being creative, drawing, writing, video games, that sort of thing. I think that creative fantasy kind of side has stayed with me as I've gotten older.
What were your favorite video games?
Oh man, favorite games. Super Mario Brothers 2. I still play that once a year. Princess Peach is the way to go. Zelda, absolutely. My sister, we actually had an Atari 800 growing up, and my sister used to beat me in pole position and Pac-Man on a very regular basis. But when I was old enough and got a Nintendo on my 8th birthday, then it was good. I was good to go. Really enjoyed it. Contra, 30 Lives code, up, down, left, right, BA start. That was a big part of my childhood.
Is your favorite console like the Nintendo or like?
It's funny because I'm sure you guys go through this too, but as you get older, like when you get to middle school, it seems like Nintendo is like one of those things that like starts to become like what younger kids kind of play. There's that like whole like, whatever, that feeling. So people kind of gravitate towards like Xbox and that kind of thing. But I think ultimately I love Nintendo because I think the games are really good and my kids play too. So it's kind of fun to play together. But PC, Xbox is kind of fun too.
Did you always want to have a podcast?
I actually started a podcast when I was working in 7th grade with Miss Glansman, who used to be Miss Philozola. We decided we were going to have a podcast for book clubs for the kids, the students rather. And it was great, but we decided that we were going to do this. It's like a project. And at the time, it sounded like a great idea until we were like, I don't know anything about a podcast. And she's like, I don't either. So when we had this idea to do a podcast, we decided that like we needed to figure out how to do it. So instead of like, keep looking things up and like playing things out, I decided I was going to jump right in. And then I started a podcast for food and cooking called Food and Fury. And a buddy, Mike, and I, who I convinced to do it with me because I don't do it by myself. We recorded about 25 episodes, about one recipe each week with this idea that everybody could cook if you just kind of pick the right recipe. And then his wife actually needed surgery for her back. So it was like a whole thing. And then Miss Desireen, I'm not sure if you guys know Miss Desireen, she's awesome. She was amazing. She jumped in, and then we worked on that for another 25 episodes. And then when I had my third child, I needed a little break, but at some point I'm going to jump right back in. But I figured like for anything else like we're doing today, I feel like if I'm going to be a good teacher and I want to show you guys what to do, I have to get my hands dirty and figure it out myself. And then if I could do it, then I could show you guys how to do it, right?
I know you were talking about your own podcast. I was always wondering like how much views or like do you really make money from making podcasts?
I feel like if you're planning on making money for a podcast, you're probably going about it the wrong way. That goes from somebody like myself who probably made like 48 cents an episode. So I feel like it's probably not one of those things where like you're really going to make money. The people that do probably, either they're celebrities or like things just happen over time. But I think the most important thing was finding like an outlet for creativity. I'm not sure if you guys feel this way, but I'm the kind of person, if I'm not doing something creative, I feel like I'm just kind of like, I feel stale. I want to do stuff. So for, the biggest advice that I would say if you're wanting to make money or to ever grow is just to be consistent, right? If you're going to record an episode a week, do it on the same night, record it the same, or release it the same day every time. Be consistent, don't give up, and just stay with it. And your community will grow and you'll find joy in that, right?
Do you always be a teacher?
I wasn't. I actually used to work in the printing industry. So I went to college. I switched majors a bunch of times. And then it stuck with me when I went to spring break in Florida. I met a lot of people that were in this printing field called graphic communications. And I went to school for it. And I eventually worked in these companies that made like potato chip bags and all these things that would print it like in a grocery store. And I got to the point where I enjoyed it, but there was a lot of travel. And I knew that the part that I loved was the teaching part of it. So I changed jobs I asked my parents if my room was still available. And when I was 25, I moved back to New York and went to college to become a teacher. And I was the oldest person in my class.
What's your favorite food?
My favorite food? Oh my goodness, that's a great question. Oh man, okay, I'm a comfort kind of food person, like done right, like macaroni and cheese is pretty legit. Grilled cheese, I think there's like a theme here with cheese. Dessert, creme brulee, if it's on the menu, that has to happen. And I think anything that's like really simple but done really well is important. I think like a yeast donut is like really stretchy and like really good. Very good. Vincent, do you have a favorite food?
No.
No, that's okay. It's allowed. You guys?
I was wondering, I know you made a lot of episodes on your Food and Fury podcast.
Yeah.
What was your all-time like favorite podcast?
The one that we recorded was probably, oh man, we did this one that was supposed to be tied to Stranger Things, and we did waffles, and then we ended up deciding to do one later on where we took corned beef hash and we decided we always wanted to throw something in the waffle iron, and we decided that was gonna be the one. So we took tater tots, we threw them in the waffle iron to see if it would work, and we made like waffles out of like tater tots, and they made corned beef hash on top of it. But we had a lot of fun with that. There was another episode where we ended up spending 25 minutes talking about Pokemon Go. It had nothing to do with food, and that was also a lot of fun. I think being willing to like just go off the edge and have a conversation was a little tricky at first, but that was a lot of fun.
Why did you want to go to the principal and ask to make this class?
Oh, good question. So, man, all right. So basically, when I was teaching 7th grade still, I worked with Miss Glansman, who used to be Miss Filizola, and I had an idea. There's something called a community fund where there's some really nice people that live in the area, and they do these things where they have money set aside through the community where teachers could write proposals, and if they have like an idea or something cool they want to do with their students, and we decided we would try to see if maybe we could get some real basic podcasting equipment. So in ELA class, we had you probably remember we did book clubs when you were in 7th grade, right? So you and your group would read a book, and then we thought instead of like your typical like write an essay, whatever else, maybe it would be fun to do like a podcast. So we did it twice. We had we had an idea to do the podcast, and then the community was gracious enough to give us some money to buy equipment, and we had some real basic stuff like a few microphones, a little recording thing, and we had the kids record, and we found that it was really fun. But as you guys can imagine, like they were very nervous, right? So they were kind of nervous. It was a one-time only thing, and then I kind of thought like, how cool would it be if we did like a class? So Mr. McConaughey was really cool about it, and I ran an idea by him, and he said, you know what, let's go to curriculum council, and there's this group of people that meet as teachers, administrators, parents, students, and there's this thing called the community, the curriculum council, where you can go as a teacher and you can propose an idea for a class, and we proposed the idea, and they were great. The administrators were really wonderful, and they had they thought that the idea had merit, and Mr. McConaughey was pretty big behind it, and they decided this would be a good addition as a elective for you guys. So this year is the first year that we're running this class.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. I also have one more question. This is going to be the last one because we've been going on for a little bit. How have you been liking content creation? Because I know this is your first year doing it. So how's the people? How's like I know we're making podcasts for the first time. Are you like happy with their performances?
I love it. I am so impressed with you guys. The fact that like a lot of you guys in general, most of the students never recorded anything. That the fact that we were able to go from no podcast, no comfort with the process itself, to go from like planning, editing, recording, designing, learning how to use software, and then come up with ideas, and then make it like a student-centered experience. I've just been blown away. Like my goal, I think, was to show you guys like what I did, during my journey of making a podcast, because my original thought was like, if I'm gonna have a class, I better get my hands dirty and do it myself, right? So when I kind of envisioned the class going the way that I wanted to, I initially wanted to like really have myself like involved, and then slowly back away, and then make it so that it was about you guys, and then whatever journey, whatever the way that you wanted to kind of gear things, I would be there more to support you all. And then as you got more and more creative, you needed a little less of me, and maybe I would just jump in and help a little bit. And I think that model has kind of worked because we have less pressure, because it's, it's not like an academic class like math, science, social studies, English, or world language, but it still has its merit as an elective. And I'm so happy with the way things are going on. We have 6 episodes of podcasts that were submitted for NPR. We have a couple contests. Podcasts are in the works for the New York Times podcast. And then we already set up our channel, right? We have about 10 podcasts already on Spotify. And I can't wait to have the spring semester class have their podcast on as well. And I think that for you guys, once you see that your podcast is live and available everywhere, I feel like, at least for me, it blows me away. Like, your parents are probably like, wait, I could look for this on my phone. I could go online, I could go on Amazon, I could go on Spotify, go on, Google, Apple Music, and it's all there. So I'm just proud of you guys. I'm proud of us, and I think it's just a cool program.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Heit, for letting us stay here and have a little interview with you.
Thank you, guys. I loved it, and I can't wait to hear what this sounds like after you edit it, and we'll get it online and hear the fruits of your labor. All right, thank you guys.
Thank
Bye.
Thank you.